one of my men, the great Ryan Leaf. How are you, man?
What's up?
All right, Robin,
we need the
we got Ryan Leaf's mic on here
here
now. All right, here we go.
Oliver Luck's going to be pissed no one heard what he had to say for the whole time.
No, we heard him. He turned the mic off when Oliver got up. No. We didn't miss Oliver. What do you think this is here? Come on, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
You always look good, man. You're not going to play in the XFL? Did you give him a phone call, man?
I cramp up too easy. Like, I cramp up in bed at like 3 in the morning. I'll just wake up and my calf is like got a divot in it. Yeah. And I'm like, imagine trying to run away from anybody, anything. Then my whole body would probably cramp up. Yeah.
I saw this guy start a game in the black hole for the Chargers.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was like the first game of the season. I want to say 2000 or 2001. I forget
got
what
my
it
head
was.
split open?
Yes, and I think the final was like 9-3. It was a really ugly game, but, man, what an experience. And I was rooting for him.
Well, everybody was rooting for him. There were people who
it's the first place I ever went where I walked in, the black hole had the dummy of me with a 16 on it, like on a noose,
like
just
an
hanging
effigy
down.
thing.
Yeah, an effigy thing. And I was like,
wow.
Hi.
Yeah.
That's
How
harsh.
you doing?
Yeah.
Ryan Leaf, he's got his foundation. I mean, obviously, you know, like I've gotten to know you over the years because we see you every year and the stuff that you do and, you know, the old stuff with Ryan Leaf and the whole thing about the draft. And that stuff's all way, way, way past it. You have to be feeling good about your life now. I mean, you've been through a lot of different stuff, man.
Well, yeah, and, you know, I never mean to minimize it at all. You know, but a lot of people go through a lot of tough things in life. There's adversity around every corner, and if you're a human being, you're flawed, and you try to be better every single day. So I think mine was just very public, so therefore everybody thinks it maybe have been exponentially worse or something, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I think it just was something I had to get through, and I did a very poor job of doing it in a healthy, positive way until later in life.
And, of course, now you're doing the podcasting stuff. You got things going on. You've always had stuff going on. That's the good thing. I mean, when you go through trauma in your life, you go through bad times, you got to find something that motivates you and keeps you happy and keeps you moving on, right?
Well, you got to find a purpose, yeah. I mean, a lot of times for especially NFL players, they're wrapped up in this identity of football player, and that's the only thing they'll ever be. And you never quite know what's going to happen when that no longer exists. Like, who am I? How do I exist in this world if I'm not this? So you have to find a different kind of purpose, you know. And I went to college for a broadcasting degree, and finally, you know, luckily for me, ESPN came along and gave me an opportunity this year, and I worked really hard towards it, you know. I mean, when I walked out of a prison cell, people weren't, you know, the Disney Corporation wasn't standing there going,
with a
here you go. You know, would love for you to come work for our really, really
family-friendly organization.
Firm, yeah. So there's a lot of work that goes into it, and one that we put a lot of time and energy in. And luckily, I had a ton of people that have supported me over the last 5 years to make that come true.
Well, you were coaching too for a while, right?
Yeah, I coached when I quit football. And I went back to college to get my degree. You know, you think your identity is only this. Like, well, I can't play it, so I guess I coach. That's what you do next. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed teaching the young men a craft and watching them, put it to use and be successful
and
from it.
And get better, yeah.
But I was such a mess, you know. I was such a mess still at the time, dealing with all my failure and how I looked at myself and how I was interpreted by people. So also I don't think I ever had the patience to do it.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you could pay me enough money to coach football. I don't think you could.
Ryan Leaf, you know, you played in a couple of the golf tournaments that I was involved in charity in Tampa Bay. So you still played a lot of golf and going around the country?
I try. You know, calling games, you know, you're gone every week in the fall. So I haven't played since I played Tuesday. I played 2 days ago. First time since I played before back in August. I got to get ready. I got to play in the Genesis Pro-Am here at Riviera in a couple weeks.
in a couple, yeah.
So I got to get ready. I don't want to embarrass myself.
What's the index right now?
Right now it's at a 6.3.
Okay.
6.3, but there's no way I'm playing to that right now. So, yeah.
Ryan Leaf, now you're doing. You mentioned we in Philly, all the fans there are upset about the Pac-12 player. Oh, another Pac-12 player. But I mean, there's a lot of great players. You look around the league, but it seems like the Eagles really are focused in on Washington State area on the West Coast with a lot of their players.
Well, I mean, they're good. They produce good football players. Now the depth is different. I mean, like you don't look at University of Alabama or Clemson or any of the Southeast Conference schools, and where they're lined up one after one another. But the starters and guys, the depth may not be the same in the Pac-12, but you're getting quality football players that can contribute to your organization and make an impact.
What does the Pac-12 got to do to get into the playoff? Now, Oregon schedules Auburn week 1. I give them credit. They lost that game on the final play of the game, and that might have been the game that kept them out of the playoffs.
Well, the one that I think ultimately the one that kept them out was the Arizona State loss.
Yeah.
They play 9 conference games. The SEC and ACC only play 8. Well, they went and scheduled Ohio State this year. So they play Ohio State in week 2.
Wow.
They play the defending national champion of the FCS, North Dakota State, in week 1.
Wow.
So that's their first 2 games. So you're going to find out pretty quickly. Washington plays Michigan in week 1. USC plays Alabama in week 1. So the Pac-12 is not shying away from playing quality opponents. And if they're going to get, if it's going to be a punitive problem for them, I mean, that's just the way they're going to schedule. They don't care. The fact that they were in it until up to the last week. If Utah beats Oregon, Utah's the team that's in. So they had every opportunity this year. It's not like they were completely thrown out of the conversation. They didn't get it done. The conference was very competitive, and they beat each other up a lot.
Ryan Leaf doing Pac-12, and, of course, he's on the Believe podcast network, which is all Pac-12 all the time, right? Or
well, my podcast is, but we have – now, this is a great story. So you guys know Braun. Yep. He's the one that hooks all this up. Well, Braun was essentially my publicist about 3 or 4 years ago when I started doing a lot of this. And we were sitting around one day at the gym going, hey, I want to do something where, I can focus in maybe on the Pac-12 only or a podcast, something where we can get our message out there where we have control over it. And so we started talking about it, and all of a sudden he came up with an idea. Why don't we do a localized one? And then it became bigger. So we were sitting in this restaurant on Sunset, and we built this business called the Believe Podcast Network, and now we have like 250 shows on the network.
Wow.
And it's just growing and growing and growing. We got a table here this time.
Well, D-Ray, Darryl Reynolds from Villanova's on that.
Yeah. We have it's been amazing. They have far-reaching is from yoga to The Bachelor. I mean, the podcasts are unbelievable.
Would you do a Bachelor segment at all?
I have not watched The Bachelor, so I have not yet.
I have never watched The Bachelor. Let me just say that right now.
It is surprising, though, who admits that they do.
Guys watch that show.
Like,
I know.
It's a guilty pleasure of theirs, and I'm like, seriously, you guys watch it?
Well, you watch it from what my wife tells me. It's like this. You just want to watch it and just to see like chaos ensue is what you want to see. You just want to see something like a bomb that's just lit right in front of you. Watch it closely.
So it's like the TV show of rubbernecking.
Yes,
exactly.
Gotcha.
Car wreck.
You're driving along, and you're just like, oh, this is going to be bad.
Yeah.
So it's spelled B-L-E-A-V, right?
Yes.
But it's pronounced believe. Because it is believe.
Yep. That is a gamer's way of doing things. Braun was a gamer, and when they do their names and stuff like that, it's supposed to set itself aside.
Exactly.
So he probably knows all about
Twitch.
Twitch.
We're live on Twitch. We're on the front page of Twitch.
This
doing
is a
our
great
show.
thing. We did a social media event for the NFL and players, figuring out ways to expeditiate their profile and their brand and everything like that. And I asked, well, okay, so up and coming broadcasters, like you could put on a game and then broadcast it on Twitch and let people, if the people want to watch a game and listen to maybe you broadcasting, that would be a really interesting way for young kids to start doing things like that. I thought that was a great idea, something like that for somebody. And I hadn't gotten my deal with Pac-12 yet. I was like, or with ESPN yet. So I was like, I'm going to go on Twitch and start broadcasting games here. Who wants to listen to Tony Romo? Come listen to Ryan Leaf.
Listen to Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
Well, it's always great to see you, man. Always great to see good things happening. We got some lovely parting gifts for our guests.
I think I overheard that you pulled something on you today, or you were.
I don't know. Maybe, probably.
Yes,
all the time. Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Well, and he has he cramps up.
Yeah, he said he can't play because he cramps up too much.
Ramps up the time.
Not on the golf course, though.
This
No.
is our sponsor. It has kinesiology tape built into the compression sleeve, and it is amazing.
This is perfect. My wife and I will love this. We'll love this so much.
No, it's
because
really good
her
stuff.
and
I have one
hobble
on
around
my
all the
knee,
time, yeah.
and it's not just for athletes. I mean, you play golf. You're a fireman. You're a firefighter. You're a cop. You're just a construction.
Mobility
not just
help.
whatever you
Yeah.
do.
You're an
Mobility
active
help.
person.
Well, and not only, but oftentimes like the tape, you kind of have to know where to place it.
You have to know where to place it.
This takes the guessing work out of it.
I love it. What a thing to have come true today.
We always have
That's a nice
lovely
show.
parting
Yeah.
gifts, especially for you, Ryan.
Yeah.
You've been so good to me over the
We have more than that, but we'll do that off the air.
All right.
Good to see you. Ryan Leaf,
Thank you,
ladies
guys.
and gentlemen. Pac-12 Network, Believe Podcast
Yeah.
Network.
Thanks a lot.
Blowing up and looking